Hey everybody, what's going on? Hellmite here, bringing you another video from Grab the Lantern today. Got another news roundup coming for you guys, as Riot has been very active over this weekend with a whole bunch of announcements and reveals and lots of fun stuff to talk about, so let's go ahead and jump right into things. Now, first and foremost, there was a bunch of stuff announced today, if you haven't seen any of it. First of which is Tellstones King's Gambit, which is a board game, actually, that Riot have been, they talked about it a while back, and they finally decided, hey, this is when we're going to release the game. It's technically not even released, they're still saying it's coming soon, but we finally have a view of what the physical product looks like, and we have a very cutesy video that showed some Demacian champions, generally starring Cytherea of Legends of Runeterra fame, if you're familiar with that, playing this new game. Now, for those of you who are a fan of mechs and minions, this is a very exciting thing to see that Riot are making another foray into the board game field. Tellstones looks like it's going to be a very simple game, but hopefully one with a lot of room for development and sort of mind gaming your opponent, which I do quite like. Is this the kind of game that makes me think that you can pick up anybody and say, hey, do you want to play Tellstones? And they don't have to know it's a League of Legends thing. They can just say, okay, sure, how do you play it? So really excited to see this game come out. I'll probably pick up a copy for myself, so let me know if you guys plan on getting one in the comments section down below. Would love to hear your thoughts as well. Second up, the new TFT set has been revealed. Riot have announced the entire origin and class list of champions, as well as starting to reveal their abilities at the same time, which is really exciting. TFT Fates looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. There are a lot of returning champions, and there are a lot of new champions that are getting their first appearance in Teamfight Tactics. Kayn is finally making his appearance as a champion rather than as a boss unit. I know Yuumi and Aphelios and Set are showing up as well. Set's origin is already hilarious. I absolutely love that, and I will 100% want to be using him in games. But go ahead and check that out. I will have the cheat sheet link down in the description below. The actual champion abilities are someplace else. I don't quite remember, but I will try to dig those up for you guys and put it down in the description as well. Next up, there have been a couple of trailers that have also been released over the weekend. First and foremost was the Samira trailer, so that showed up a little bit later than I think we were all expecting. We were really kind of hoping for a Samira trailer as she hit the PBE. Either way, we finally did get it, which has given us a couple of details about her kit that I didn't quite expect. Now, the dash part of her passive only looks like it works against immobilized enemies. She doesn't just get to dash into range whenever she wants. Additionally, Blade Whirl looks like it lasts for a significant amount of time and has a very large hitbox, which is contrary to what I expected that ability to actually do. So very interesting on that particular part of her kit, which does make me think, okay, so that seems reasonable as well. Plus the fact that her ultimate is only a 3-second cooldown, letting her cast it potentially multiple times in a team fight, assuming she can hit S and cast it and then hit S again. Either way, she looks like she's going to be a lot of fun. I still haven't seen anything that makes me think that she's going to be completely bonkers broken, but either way, it'll be interesting to see how she plays regardless. Talking about trailers as well, the PsyOps skin trailer also did come out today. If you guys want to check that out, very interesting, and it does mean that the PsyOps skins will likely be arriving before too long. Riot will probably want to be putting those out in order to kind of show off the new skin line, and especially remember that this is going to be coming with a new legendary for Sona, in addition to a new voiceover for default Sona. So I'm really excited about that in particular, but the new skins will be available as well for those of you who are really looking forward to them. Moving on to some more meaty topics here, Riot published an update on their behavioral system update. So talking about what they've been doing to improve the health of the game and to improve players who are not really behaving the way they should be in League of Legends. Now, first and foremost, they rolled out an AFK punishment threshold update, which does seem to be holding right now. So far, it has dramatically improved the rate at which Riot have been able to punish AFK behaviors, and AFKs in general have gone down in consistency since they rolled out the update, because players are saying, oh, wow, we're getting punished really hard for AFK in games, so we should probably stop. So Riot will be trying to roll that out to other test regions, validate it before they confirm it live everywhere. For intent to lose in-game behaviors like intentional feeding and griefing, they launched some initial changes that saw a more than 500% spike in detection and punishments, but it also included a spike in false positives that they weren't happy with. So Riot have shelved the V1 changes in favor of a V2 set, which will be rolling out to test in the next month. So that should be exciting. I'm glad they're finally rolling out some punishments for those behaviors. Riot are also making some adjustments to games in which you have an AFK or an intent to lose player on your team. right, are refreshing the surrender cooldown and alerting the whole team when an AFK is detected, which allows you to surrender again immediately. So if you go for that early surrender, someone says no, and then your tilted top laner immediately AFKs because they don't want to play out that game, the rest of you guys at least have the option to try and surrender again immediately thereafter instead of having to wait for the cooldown to refresh. LP mitigation will also be rolled out to teams that have an AFK or leaver on your team. Now, this doesn't mean that every game with an AFK player is going to be a free mulligan, right? We'll take into account how the game was going before the player AFK'd and how often it's been happening. If you were losing beforehand, Riot aren't going to allow you to get LP mitigation if you bully someone into AFKing in order to save your own LP. So hopefully this doesn't get abused. I know Riot talked about it a long time ago. They were saying this is sort of a problem. We want to make sure that if we do have these kind of behaviors that players don't abuse it. It sounds like they're going to be taking an opportunity to try it out. So hopefully nobody does abuse it so we can keep these changes, because it is a big load off of everyone's shoulders, realizing at least if I have an AFK, we will be able to surrender this game early and we won't lose as much LP. Now, there was also a quick gameplay thoughts update on the August 28th, where Medler talked a little bit about how Riot assesses their own work, which I did think was a little interesting. It's a bit of a long article, so I'm not going to talk about all of it, but generally speaking, Riot had a lot of interesting little tidbits about the types of teams that they have and how they evaluate their own work. I thought, interestingly enough, the champion team is separate from the Summoner's Rift team, which the Summoner's Rift team is sometimes referred to as the balance team. The champion team is the one that assesses play rates for new and updated champions, specifically focusing on their breadth and depth, and the rate of balance changes that champions are receiving. Whereas the Summoner's Rift team are the ones who assess champion balance for existing champions. What this means is that there are two separate teams. So, for example, when Aphelios came out, just as an example, the champion team initially would be looking at Aphelios and potentially suggesting nerfs or buffs to the champion, whereas when Aphelios has now been out for a while, the Summoner's Rift team has taken over balancing for Aphelios. So I did think that was a neat little tidbit. Riot also mentioned that they are looking at how champions are broadening their IP, what kind of stories new champions allow them to tell, how a new champion develops the world of Runeterra, and especially how champions can affect their representation. Riot have said their roster still skews towards male champions, even though a lot of their more recent releases have had a better gender mix, so that might be something that they try to fix going forward. Now, if only we can get them to talk more about monster champions and give us some more monsters, I would love to see that happen, but that's a topic for another day. An interesting thought here is Medler also mentioned that the phrase quest skin will be floating around, and Riot want to provide a little bit of context around what that means. They say they'll be testing a new skin type, not a new tier with a different price, that will be purchasable in the near future. It'll have some new features with specific technical needs, which is why you need to have it on PBE and test it in advance. It won't be launching this patch or in the immediate future, but stay tuned for more information. Now, I'm kind of excited about how this might work. My guess is it would be a type of skin that allows you to perform a quest. So if you consider like the support quests in game, or even quests for champions that have certain specific interactions, so someone like the Rengar Kha'Zix event, that sort of a thing, where if you fulfill certain criteria, that the skin itself can transform and potentially offer you a choice of transformation, as with Kayn. Now, this kind of tech would be really, really useful, especially for a champion like Kayn, who just is never going to get very many skins because he has 3 different forms he has to be able to inhabit depending on any skin he gets. So it just makes it so hard to develop skins for him. But if quest skins exist, first of all, Kayn will probably get more skins. But second of all, other champions may also be able to get skins in that kind of vein, which would be really, really cool. So that's, of course, just my assumption. Obviously, we have no idea of knowing what a quest skin actually is, but the mention of specific technical needs as well as the new skin type, not new skin tier, makes me think that that's probably what it is. Obviously, we still don't know, but I would be really excited to see when this finally goes live and how this is going to affect things. So keep a lookout for that coming forward in the future. And that's actually going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching. Let me know what you're most excited for down in the comment section below. I know I'm looking forward to more Tellstones coming out in the near future, and especially to see more about these quest skins, but let me know what you guys are thinking of down in the comments. Would love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and leave a like, and if you really enjoyed today's video, consider subscribing. I upload a video every Monday, Friday, and on patch days as well. Once again, thank you guys so very much for watching. I do appreciate it. And I'll talk to you all later.